Oliver Stone sends a message to President Biden. He says it's dangerous to expel Putin from the Kremlin. Preludes a global conflict between Russia and the USA. Oliver Stone says, who are we to point the finger at the Russians for what to do? Because it's ridiculous when you think about what we did, he said. Award-winning and well-known director Oliver Stone criticized the plan of American President Joe Biden for regime change in Moscow as very dangerous for humanity, he says. Stone said the root cause of the current conflict is the U.S.'s transformation of Ukraine into an anti-Russian country, which has been taking place systematically since 2014. The well-known director made statements about the war in Ukraine and the West's attitude towards Russia in an interview with the Serbian newspaper Politics ahead of the Red Sea International Film Festival RSIFF held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Stone said and continued, who are we to point the finger at anyone? We tell the Russians what to do, but that's ridiculous when you think about what we've been doing. Emphasizing that the events taking place in Ukraine at the moment are not at all a simple thing. However, in the West, this is limited to the situation of the Russians invaded Ukraine. There is no mention of how many people were displaced because of the armed forces, he said. Commenting that Ukraine has been anti-Russian, not neutral, since 2014, and that is what tipped the balances with Moscow, Stone pointed out that every war has causes and consequences, and we should pay close attention to them. Noting the role of the U.S. in the war conflict, the famous filmmaker said, the U.S. is quick to condemn countries that violate the rules-based international order, but America breaks all the rules whenever it wants, and you all know that. On the other hand, expressing his regret for voting for Joe Biden, Stone said that it is very dangerous for Biden, whom he calls his grandfather, quote-unquote, to dream of regime change in Moscow so that he can control this country as he did in the 1990s. Stone, who said former President Barack Obama's 2008 election of Biden as vice president was a big mistake, quote-unquote, while arguing that both Democrats and Republicans are looking after the interests of arms companies and that the only hope for the United States, it would be the appearance of a third party in the country's political scene. Asked if he was still a rebel, quote-unquote, Stone said he was getting old and had vision and hearing problems, but said, I'd rather live on my feet than die on my knees, he said. Stone's latest documentary, called Nuclear, explores the role of nuclear power in addressing climate change. The American director himself had spoken of a dark and suspicious background behind Ukraine. The same director, in an earlier article, had told us about a series of documentaries revealing how the U.S. manipulated the political developments in Ukraine through Hillary Clinton, Republican Senator John McCain, State Department official Victoria Nuland, and U.S. Ambassador T. Payet in Kiev. The documentary also reveals that U.S. manipulation, which parallels developments in all other former Soviet republics, is much more evident in Ukraine. Oliver Stone sheds light on the events with interviews with almost every Ukrainian politician who has made their mark on Ukrainian politics since independence in 1991 and beyond. These politicians include Viktor Medvedchuk, who held high positions in all Ukrainian governments before Zelensky, Ukrainian TV presenter Oksana Marchenko, Ivan Kachovsky, Vladimir Putin, and other prominent politicians. This is from Pentapostagma. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.